I want to pivot a little bit and talk about you more personally as a leader. I want to know how has this, and I know you have kids too, so I'm sure a lot has changed for you as a leader and a father, and everything else in between. But what has this time taught you as a leader, and what kind of lessons do you want to take with you into the future?
Oh, great question. So I'm going to start with kind of my kids when they're being remote, we're remote, and they're full time online. Fortunately, they've been able to shift to kind of a hybrid model. But one of the big things that I had to, I'll say, wrap my head around is helping my son with his math homework. So I typically do the science and the math, and I kind of handle those duties. And I will just tell you straight out, I the way they teach math today, completely different than how I learned math. So as I'm trying to help my son with that, he's telling me that that's not right. That's not right, Dad. But yet he still needs my help. He said, that's not what the teacher is telling me. That's not the way the teacher says to do it. So for a while, I was not really listening to that. I was like, do you want to get the problem right? Or do you want to do it the way your teacher is telling you, which I don't know how to do. So I eventually said, okay, I need to figure out how they're teaching this so I can actually help him. And so I made that transition, but it took me a little while to pivot. Um, I think fortunately for us, when it comes to the work side in leadership, I didn't take as long to pivot with work that I did with my son. I think one of the key things is engagement is critical. It was critical before the pandemic, but how you engage with your teams and your customers and your business partners is extremely critical. I always have this leadership maxim that I created, and it goes by everything is a situation. And what I mean by that is um, you have to treat people as individuals. You can have a situation with a team that you walk through and you get to a decision on 2 weeks ago, and then a similar situation may present itself with a different team, or maybe even the same team, and you have to resist the urge to say, well, we talked about something similar 2 weeks ago. Just do what we said 2 weeks ago. You really have to take the time to really figure out what's the different nuances between 2 weeks ago and today, because things change. And there's nothing wrong with adjusting your decision and adjusting your path. I think sometimes leaders get caught up in, I have to be consistent. I can't make a decision and then change course 3 weeks ago, three weeks from now, or 3 months from now. I think you actually owe it to yourself and to your organization to actually think through that. And a lot of times the right decision is to take a different path. And so with the pandemic, um, I think it's extremely important to make sure you are dealing with each of your team members, your associates, your employees as individuals, because now more than ever, that connection and looking at them in that light will make all the difference.